Welcome back to this new inspirational video. Today we're going to go on with chapter 11, realization. So this is a great chapter that will tell you how to actually realize your dream and where to begin and how to begin, because that is where we usually get stuck. We have these big beautiful dreams, but then suddenly we're like, I don't even know how to begin, and then we might give up on them, or perhaps we don't give up on them, but we feel this frustration all throughout life because we don't seem to progress. So let us pay close attention to what Wallace Wattles had to say on the matter. He started out the chapter by saying the following: if you were to stop with the last chapter, idealization, you would never become great. You would be indeed a mere dreamer of dreams, a castle builder. Too many people stop there. They do not understand the necessity for present action in realizing the vision and bringing the thought form into manifestation. Two things are necessary. Firstly, the making of the thought form, and secondly, the actual appropriation to yourself of all that goes into and around the thought form. So with thought form again, we mean having a vision or mental picture, however it's called in many of these books. In videos in general, we always talk about having a vision. Well, that's essentially having a thought form. If that was confusing to you, just some clarification. Now he went on to say, we have discussed the first step. Now we will proceed to give directions for the second. When you have made your thought form or your vision, you are already in your interior what you want to be. Next, you must become externally what you want to be. You are already great within, but you are not doing the great things without. You cannot begin on the instant to do great things. You cannot be before the world the great actor or lawyer or musician or personality you know yourself to be. No one will entrust great things to you as yet, for you have not made yourself known. But you can always begin to do small things in a great way. Here lies the whole secret. You can begin to be great today in your own home, in your store or office, on the street, everywhere. You can begin to make yourself known as great, and you can do this by doing everything you do in a great way. Doesn't that make a lot of sense? If you take just this little piece of text again that was written over 100 years ago, and you actually analyze anyone in the world that is currently famous or successful, you're going to find that they have consciously or unconsciously done exactly this. They have started out doing little things in a great way. It reminds me of one of these, game developers that I was a few days watching an interview from and hearing how he started out, and now he's working on multi-million-dollar game projects, video game projects basically. But he didn't start out having the ability to do that. He had to, in this case, work himself up in a certain company in order to have, the ability and the resources to do this, to do what he dreamed of doing all along. In order to have permission from the company to work on such massive projects, he had to prove, in this case to the higher-ups, that he was worth it. It's essentially what Wallace just said to us, that nobody will entrust great things to us right away because we haven't made ourselves known. But if we start working on our dreams passionately, with true passion, no matter how little the steps are that we must take at first, more and more people will start to believe in us as well, because they can see that we are truly somebody that is willing and determined to do great things with their own work. Now again, that is how you want to look at your own goals in life. Are you doing it? Are you doing little things in a great way? That's all you have to ask yourself. So you have to start out somewhere, but then as you're starting out from your present circumstances to outgrow them, be sure that you're doing it with an attitude of greatness, of determination to become greater and greater at it. It's that subtle energy inside your mind that will help you to manifest it. If that is missing, then you can keep going in circles forever and ever and never progress. And that is what happens for most people, is that they don't inject that necessary inner energy force, that thought form, in order for it to actually become capable of realization. I know it might sound tricky at first, but this is really what it all boils down to. The more you think about it, the more it will make sense. Now Wallace went on to say, you must put the whole power of your great soul into every act, however small and commonplace, and so reveal to your family, your friends, and neighbors what you really are. Do not brag or boast of yourself. Do not go about telling people what a great persona you are. Simply live in a great way. No one will believe you if you tell them you are a great man. but no one can doubt your greatness if you show it in your actions. In your domestic circle, be so generous, so courteous and kind that your family, your wife, husband, children, brothers and sisters shall know what a great and noble soul you are. In all your relations with men, be great, just, generous, courteous, and kindly. The great are never otherwise. This should be your attitude. And next and most important, you must have absolute faith in your own perceptions of truth. Never act in haste or hurry. Be deliberate in everything. Wait until you feel that you know the true way. And when you do feel that you know the way, be guided by your own faith, though the entire world shall disagree with you. If you do not believe what God tells you in little things, you will never draw upon His wisdom and knowledge in larger things. When you feel deeply that a certain act is the right act, do it, and have perfect faith that the consequences will be good. When you are deeply impressed that a certain thing is true, no matter what the appearances to the contrary may be, accept that thing as true and act accordingly. The one way to develop a perception of truth in large things is to trust absolutely to your present perception of truth in small things. Remember that you are seeking to develop this very power or faculty, the perception of truth. You are learning to read the thoughts of God. Nothing is great and nothing is small in the sight of omnipotence. He holds the sun in its place, but He also notes a sparrow's fall and numbers the hairs of your head. God is as much interested in the little matters of everyday life as He is in the affairs of nations. You can perceive truth about family and neighborhood affairs as well as about matters of statecraft. And the way to begin is to have perfect faith in the truth in these small matters, as it is revealed to you from day to day. When you feel deeply impelled to take a course that seems contrary to all reason and worldly judgment, take that course. Listen to the suggestions and advice of others, but always do what you feel deeply in the within to be the true thing to do. Rely with absolute faith at all times on your own perception of truth, but be sure that you listen to God, that you do not act in haste, fear, or anxiety. Again, this is so important because that haste, fear, and anxiety creeps up on the best of us and on many people all the time as they're working on their dreams. But here He's suggesting that you have to listen to suggestions and advice of others. That's fine, but always do what you feel deeply in the within to be the true thing to do. To me, that basically means that everything I do with this channel, these videos that I make, they are based on what I feel I should be sharing on my channel. I don't just think of what should I post that can hopefully entertain or help others. Of course, it's sort of a side effect of what I'm doing that it can help and perhaps entertain or at least inspire other people. That's the goal. But I don't worry about it so much on what that should be about. Instead, I listen to my heart. I feel, what is a message that will be interesting to share today on my channel or in the not so distant future? So I jot the ideas down as I can feel them rise up from within. This is how you want to look at your own goals. Let the actions that you should take rise up from feelings that you have within. So you let yourself be guided by what you feel that you should be doing in order to progress. And as you do that more and more, as you learn to become familiar with this approach to your own dream, you start to see that you'll rapidly begin to realize more and more of your own dream. This is where people mess it up. They don't really rely on this sort of guidance that comes from within, but that guidance is the same place where your dream originated from. It came from within, therefore it is in touch with the universe. It is part of the universe. Can you see the importance and benefit in this way of living? Now Wallace went on to say, rely upon your perception of truth in all the facts and circumstances of life. If you deeply feel that a certain man will be in a certain place on a certain day, go there with perfect faith to meet him. He will be there, no matter how unlikely it may seem. If you feel sure that certain people are making certain combinations or doing certain things, act in the faith that they are doing those things. If you feel sure of the truth of any circumstance or happening, near or distant, past, present, or to come, trust in your perception. You may make occasional mistakes at first because of your imperfect understanding of the within, but you will soon be guided almost invariably right. Soon your family and friends will begin to defer more and more to your judgment and to be guided by you. Soon your neighbors and townsmen will be coming to you for counsel and advice. Soon you will be recognized as one who is great in small things, and you will be called upon more and more to take charge of larger things. All that is necessary is to be guided absolutely in all things by your inner light, your perception of truth. Obey your soul, have perfect faith in yourself. Never think of yourself with doubt or distrust, or as one who makes mistakes. If I judge, my judgment is just, for I seek not honor from men, but from the Father only. And that is the end of the chapter. Now at the very end he starts about talking that, you would become someone that people come to for guidance, etc. Well, maybe that's not really in your interest. This is particularly interesting if you want to be a coach, for example, because then you need to interact with people somehow, whether that's online or in person. Essentially what's happening with my channel right now. I need people that, of course, watch my content, so I have to put out interesting, inspiring content in my own way, so that they trust that they can learn something on this channel. That's all there is to it. But maybe you don't have such a dream. Still, the goal here is that by doing this, by making yourself great from within outwardly, more and more people, whoever they are, will start to recognize that you are a person of passion, of determination, again, of greatness at the end of the day. You don't have to walk around feeling like, oh, I'm so great, this and that, and become totally arrogant about it. But you do want to understand success is coupled with greatness, always. There's no successful person who's truly passionate about what they're doing who isn't also great in their own way at what they're doing. That is what you want to grasp, and you can start becoming better and greater at what you're doing right where you are with whatever you've got. And the moment that you start to develop this power so intensely within your own soul that it starts to overflow outwardly into the world of forms, well, then you get the right idea here. That's what we're after. So you don't want to sit still and do nothing about your dream, but you do want to be guided by what you feel you should be doing about your dream. And then as you allow to go along with that, things will start to improve for you. That is the beauty of this chapter. Now, if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing to receive inspirational videos on a regular basis. And with that being said, dear viewer, never forget that we are the dreamers.